It's opening day in the National Football League, and come on to Veterans Stadium in Philadelphia for an NFC East matchup between the Phoenix Cardinals and the Philadelphia Eagles. And hi, everybody, I'm Jim Nantz, and welcome to CBS Sports coverage of the National Football League and the Philadelphia, where many questions loom as they enter this new season. One question that I would like to pose to you, Randy Cross, is about the Philadelphia Eagles. Pleased to be with you this season, by the way.
I guarantee it won't be boring, Jim.
Some are saying that the Eagles were decimated by the free agent signings of 11 of their players. What do you think we'll see from them today?
Well, a couple of things. First of all, I think you're going to see a team very motivated. They know this is the last year. It's the way it is. Norman Brayman will not continue paying a lot of money, and Reggie White will miss this defense a lot more than this defense will miss Reggie White.
Well, the Cardinals, they went into the free agent market, dipped into it, invested $22 million in 4 players, including Steve Berline and Gary Clark and Chuck Cecil. But there is an ultimatum in Phoenix to win now.
Oh, they got off on a high note. The owner threatened everybody, if you don't win 9 games, you're all gone, not just the head coach. Remember one thing about this Phoenix Cardinals team. They have their first legitimate chance of having a star Phoenix Cardinal in Garrison Hurst. This kid is the real deal and can make the difference for this franchise.
All right. Greg Davis will kick to the Eagles. Philadelphia won the toss. Back deep is Vi Sikahema, the former Cardinal, along with Jeff Seidner. Davis's kick is to Seidner, the 5'6" return man, across the 20 and out to the 24-yard line. Now let's bring out Randall Cunningham. His offensive line today, Randy Cross, will include Broderick Thompson at left tackle, an acquisition in the offseason. Mike Shadd, David Alexander is the center. Eric Floyd on the right side with Antone Davis. Mark Bavaro is the tight end. The wide receivers for the 4th straight year, starting Calvin Williams and Fred Barnett. In the backfield, Herschel Walker and Heath Sherman in that base offense for the Eagles. 1st and 10 for Philadelphia. Sherman gets the call on the first play of the season, and a hard run for about 10 to the 34-yard line. But there is a flag down. That was a 10-yard run. Well, they picked up the flag, so there's a look at Larry Nemmers, who will be the referee today. So a first down carry of 10 yards. Give him another set of downs from the 34. Herschel Walker stacked at the line after a run of about 1 yard.
The key thing to keep in mind for Philadelphia, I think, Jim, is one big thing. This offensive line has got to pass protect. They got Randall Cunningham, Jim McMahon, and a host of others sacked 64 times last year. Everybody knows they have running backs. They know they can run block, but can they pass protect? And they'll be tested severely by Nunn and Harvey and the rest of this Cardinals defense.
2nd down and 9 for Philadelphia. Cunningham, good protection at first. It eventually breaks down, thrown in the area of Tyrone Stowe, but the pressure applied by Michael Bankston, and now flags everywhere.
And that was the case of Eric Floyd, the 4th-year guard, number 61, took a nice shot right in the back of Eric Swan. Swan did the smart thing. He got the first shot in, then turned around and let the other guy hit him in the back and draw a penalty, I think. Could this be the dreaded offsetting?
It's too early in the season for that,
We have
isn't
a personal foul for unnecessary roughness on number 61 after the play was over. 3rd down will go 15 yards from the end of the play.
So they called it one way that time. Here's a look at it.
Right-hand side, look at Swan, 98 right there. They're not going to call the ensuing work between Bankston and Floyd and everybody else, and they've got the first guy. Never, ever, ever be the second guy to hit. Get that first shot in there. They don't see that one.
Boy, that'll back up Philadelphia 15 yards. There's Richie Kotite, his third year.
We talk about that pass protection and how important it is. This is a great example right here. Phoenix will be coming after Randall Cunningham right now. Keep an eye on Harvey, 56 on the outside. He's coming off a knee surgery, and the first 2 or 3 plays he was hobbling.
Going to be 3rd down and 27. There's Ken Harvey. Blew out a knee last November against Atlanta.
See, we're not the only ones going through early season blues at the moment. I think they have a little problem on the field deciding where exactly to spot that one.
Well, they walked off too much. So let's make it 3rd and 24. 4 receivers for the Eagles. They send the rookie Victor Bailey in motion. Cunningham fires it downfield to Bailey, and he can't hold on. Almost had it at the Phoenix 30.
And Phoenix got real lucky. Chuck Cecil, their free agent acquisition, paid all that money to, took a big gamble at the end of that play trying to break it up. And I think actually Bailey was a little surprised that ball wasn't knocked down. That's probably why he dropped it. He just lost that moment's concentration.
Jeff Fiegels will punt for Philadelphia. Punting to a Pro Bowl returner, Johnny Bailey. For a heavy rush, Fiegels, nice high boot. Fair catch called. Bailey has it. Phoenix will have it for the first time in the 93 season from its own 43. A 37-yard punt by Jeff Fiegels. So 13-15 remaining in the first quarter. No score. There's Steve Berline, who threw only 18 passes in 1992, backing up Troy Aikman for the Super Bowl champion Cowboys. Rookie Ron Moore in the backfield. 1st and 10 through the hands of Larry Sinners, who caught 50 passes last year out of the backfield. So Berline and his base offense that will include Sharp at left tackle, Rick Cunningham at left guard, Mark May on the line with Lance Smith and rookie Ernest Dye. Walter Reeves is the tight end. The wide receivers, Ricky Prohl and Gary Clark, acquired from the Redskins, the free agent market. Butch Roll is the H-back. Ron Moore is the lone setback now on 2nd down and 10. Berline comes out throwing his first 2 plays. A man was open. Beautifully tipped away by Byron Evans. Going for Derek Ware, backup tight end.
Not a bad job for a guy that's had a broken hand, has got a soft cast working on that thing right now. And you're going to see Berline try to fade this, try to lob this thing in. Remember 2 things about Berline. I don't care if he is making $2.5 million a year and he's supposedly the man here in Phoenix. He points out, hey, I haven't accomplished anything yet in the NFL. I don't think people should get too excited. And he's a 48% career passer. He has to at least improve 9 to 10 points to become a legitimate star-type quarterback.
It's 3rd and 10 for Phoenix. Berline, too high, looking for Gary Clark. And Berline took a pretty good pop.
And I guarantee you, Bud Carson, the defensive coordinator, loves to see this guy get a shot on a quarterback this early in the game. Harmon is a guy that every coach here in Philadelphia speaks real highly of. They talk about Millar, they talk about Harris. Harmon's the work ethic, the real motor guy. He makes things happen.
4th and 10, and Rich Camarillo just barely got it away. Wonderful bounce. Sikahema falls at the 13. So an exchange of punts here in the first quarter. 46 yards on that one by Camarillo. Jim Nantz along with Randy Cross at Veterans Stadium in Philadelphia. And Randall Cunningham, what kind of year you expect you'll see from him?
Well, people are anticipating a great year. Coach I talks about, hey, nobody has a good year until 2 years after a knee surgery, and he's expecting big things from Randall. He's got Zeke Bratkowski now as his sort of mentor, offensive coordinator, quarterback coach. He's very upbeat. I think Randall Cunningham's a very unpredictable quarterback. He's an up-and-down, hot and cold guy. He can rush for a lot of yards, throw for a lot of yards, and he also has the ability as a quarterback to lose you some football games.
No score, opening minutes of the first quarter. Philadelphia 1st and 10 from its 13. Cunningham looks for a second target and finds Mark Bavaro across the 25-yard line for a gain of 12 and a first down.
Everyone here in Philadelphia hopes that Mark Bavaro's knee holds up, and nobody more than Randall Cunningham, because if you want to double up on Barnett and Williams, there's the guy that's going to be in the middle of this defensive backfield all day long gobbling up passes, and he can do it. They call him the first complete package tight end here in a long time. He's one of the best blockers ever, and as you can see, he can go with it when he gets it. 1st and 10. That, of course, that comment in reference to Keith Jackson. And there's Heath Sherman for no gain, hit first by Eric Swan. So it'll be 2nd and 10. We talk about the size of these defensive linemen for Phoenix, but Eric Swan, 98, is one of the smallest guys at 300 pounds, and he can bring it. He's a quick guy. He brings the arm over on Floyd, gets in the backfield. Here's a guy that Joe Bugle and the Phoenix organization think is a star now. 2 years ago, he's a star of the future. Now he's a star now. He's got a legitimate shot at the Pro Bowl next January or February, whenever they play that game. 2nd down and 10. Sherman will run with it. Gets away from the pack and gets a first down to the 36. Chuck Cecil on the hit after a gain of 11. This is kind of the play of living dangerously. Watch all the people around Randall and around Sherman. There's bodies everywhere. There's linemen all over the place. There's everywhere to go is to run into somebody. Jax can't hold on. Cecil comes in, gives him a shot in the chops there at the very end. Well designed, well executed, because the lineman knew where the defensive guys were going to go, and Sherman paid attention. Sherman out, and Vaughn Hebron is in, a rookie free agent. Quite a buzz around Philadelphia about him. 1st and 10, pass play for another 10. Caught by Bavaro, his 2nd catch of this series. You were going to see this the entire half or the entire game until the Phoenix Cardinals take Mark Bavaro away. You saw Cunningham look right, look short, look over the middle, and hit Bavaro. You got to cover Mark Bavaro. Randall Cunningham will complete 10 passes to this guy if you keep giving those dumps. Well, they lost 11 players to free agency, but they signed Mark Bavaro, who spent last season with the Cleveland Browns. For all the hype, free agency is a push here in Philadelphia. It's not that big a deal. 2nd and 1. Walker sidesteps the defender to pick up the first down and is pushed out of bounds by Aeneas Williams at the 45 of the Cardinals. A good block by Calvin Williams. One of the first things that jumps out at you about Herschel Walker this year was the first thing Richie Coach I talked to us about yesterday. Herschel Walker is not jittering in the hole. He's not going up and looking at guys and shaking and trying to put moves on. He's going north and south, and he's taking the ball. Maybe he's taking a little note off that rookie running back, Hebron. He had the first 1,000-yard rushing season in Philadelphia since '85, and Ernest Jackson did Walker last year. 1st down and 10. Calvin Williams, diving catch at the 39. Lynch on the coverage. And that's the side of the defense you expect Cunningham and the Eagles, when they throw, to go after. Go after Lynch. That's where right now Robert Massey would be. If he was able to play, he's going to miss the first 3 games because of his protracted contract problems. The other side is Aeneas Williams, and Aeneas Williams, 35, is becoming recognized as one of the better young cornerbacks in the league. Don't mess with him. Go to the other side. Chuck Cecil and John Moody are the safeties. It's 2nd down and 4 from the 39 of Phoenix. Walker looking for a gap. And down to the 32. Maurice Johnson helped block on that right side for a gain of 6. This is a nice patient run by Herschel. Watch as they come towards you. There's really nothing here. Herschel waits, he waits, he waits. He sees Dewerson, 22, get trapped in a little bit with a block by Maurice Johnson. And something you're going to see a lot of if Phoenix doesn't start stopping this run is Chuck Cecil, 26, making tackles.
That was enough for a first down. This is the 8th play of the drive. 1st and 10 from the 32. Open is Barnett. Shakes off Lynch and is near another first down at the 22.
And what we're seeing is a good example of what Cunningham's been preaching in the offseason and the preseason, that, hey, this is more my style of offense. Zeke Bratkowski has come in and he's enabled me to look right, go left, go to the guy that I think is open and not have to worry about running a specific play. He seems a little bit more at ease here. Can he stay that way? I don't know, but right now he looks very comfortable.
Now they're really moving it here. 1st and 10 from the 22. Sherman has returned. Cunningham still passing. Barnett at the 15, to the 10, and down at the 7. 1st and goal from the 7. He broke away for the 2nd straight play from Lorenzo Lynch.
And that's 3 of the last 4 plays, Jim, going after Lynch on that side. What they're doing is they're not really going deep. They're getting the ball in front of him. They're trying to get him sucked up a little bit, make him vulnerable for that deep pass, make him beat these receivers one-on-one. And that wasn't even close. Going for their head shot there. Wrap around those thighs, wrap around that waist, and bring him down. Don't take a shot at that head.
Heath and Herschel in the backfield on 1st and goal from the 7. Rolling out. Randall diving and down at the 1.
Saw Randall Cunningham trying to make a little extra money as an NFL official, claiming he got in on that one. Let's see if he did. There's your average 325-pound pulling guard, Eric Floyd, out in front of him, and he's launched. Where's the ball? Where's his knee?
What do you think? 6 points?
One more time. This won't tell you as well, but you get a good shot of the height. He's up. He's down. I think he got a good spot there. That's about where it should be.
2nd and goal, and Sherman dives in for the touchdown. .43 to go in the 1st quarter, and the Eagles have just driven 87 yards for a touchdown. Roger Ruzick on the point after. The Eagles will hold. John Hudson snaps it. He missed 4 of these last year. Point afters, but this one's perfect. 7-0 Philadelphia.
Some happy fans here. They're seeing an offense in Randall Cunningham they hope to see. Good running, ball control, passing, and hopefully, for the Eagles' sake, lots of scoring.
CBS Sports coverage of the National Football League is sponsored by Chevy Trucks, the most dependable, longest-lasting trucks on the road. Levi's loose-fitting jeans, a loose interpretation of the original. AT&T, we help put your world within reach. And by new advanced high-tech formula Quaker State Motor Oil.
Randall Cunningham hit 5 out of 5 on that series. To 3 different receivers, they drive 87 yards against the big nickel of Phoenix.
And the big nickel on that particular drive, 3 defensive linemen, Freddie Joe Nunn, the 3 safeties, Dewerson, Cecil, and Booty. And the corners had the biggest problem. Not so much Aeneas Williams, but Lorenzo Lynch. They went after Lorenzo Lynch. Look for him to keep doing it. Keep doing it. Why should you even run if you can get those little short passes like that? That'll set up your running game.
Johnny Bailey and Anthony Edwards standing deep for the Cardinals.
And Jim, you got to say from the Phoenix Cardinals sideline, if you're Steve Berline, you're standing over there and you're very calm. He said he was going to be pumped. He said he was going to have butterflies. Well, he looked like it in the first series. Overthrew a couple of passes, just too strong. He's got to get his guys into this huddle right now and just settle everybody down and say, look, we got to do a little power running. I'll complete some passes. Let's have some success, because the last thing a young team is trying to convince themselves and everybody else they're good needs to do is get down early.
3 downs, 3 pass attempts for Phoenix, the only time they've had it. driving kick. Bailey 4 yards deep. Comes out with it. Not a very good decision at all. To the 13. Tackled by Ken Rhodes.
Well, there's a veteran making one of those dumb kind of rookie mistakes. Why bring that out? Your offense is having a hard enough time in the first series sort of settling down. Why make it work now with its back to the wall?
Not only that, he bobbled it and had a hard time handling it in the end zone. 7-0 Eagles. The season has been given one more year. His team off to a shaky start today.
Yeah, but they gave him a contract extension, too. Right before they threatened him, they had to win 9 games. Here's a big matchup, Jim. Dye, the rookie, 65 against Tim Harris.
On 1st and 10, flags fall. The play is stopped.
Full start, number 65, prior to the snap, 5 yards, still first down.
There's your rookie, Ernest Dye. Very concerned about Tim Harris.
You know, Tim Harris is an unusual player, Jim. Seems 2 or 3 years ago, we were mentioning here's one of the more underrated players in the league, one of the future stars. All the guys did last year in San Francisco is get about 17 sacks. The year before had about 10 or so for Green Bay. He by no means been any slouch, but he's been with different teams. He's moved around a little bit. You don't hear his name anymore. All he really does is stop the run pretty good and get after quarterbacks real well.
Some off-field troubles have really hurt his perception as a football player. 1st and 15, he can still play. From the goal line, they dump it to Moore, rookie. Gets to about the 14-yard line. We have not seen Garrison Hurst to this point. Moore was their leading rusher in the preseason out of Pittsburgh State. He broke one for 70 yards in their final preseason game, and you had a chance to visit with him yesterday.
And he's one of the 3 rookies I was impressed with: Bailey, Hebron, and Moore. 3 very calm, very quiet, very poised, very non-rookie rookies. This is the guy that's going to make a big impact for the Cardinals.
2nd down and 10. They got 5 yards on that play. Burline across the middle. And again, unable to hold on is Larry Sinners.
Well, you worry about Clyde Simmons coming from the outside and Tim Harris from the other side. You better worry a little bit about a guy, number 77, Keith Millard. Spent a couple years coming back from a knee injury. This guy has got that snap and that wiggle he used to have at Minnesota. He's another guy to keep an eye on.
Phoenix has had 5 snaps from center and 5 pass plays. It is 3rd and 10. Ben Smith and Eric McMillan come in to beef up the secondary for the Eagles. Burline looking for the first down. They have it with Randall Hill at the 25, a gain of 11. Look at this little talking between Harris and Hill.
And on the first play back here in nickel in the regular season, Ben Smith is involved here with Randall Hill. Very simple, just run down, hook up a little bit, we'll throw it to you. And there's Ben Smith diving in. He's a guy that has in the back of his mind, he's wearing a knee brace, kind of going through what Randall Cunningham went through last year with the Eagles, that uncertain year after his surgery.
1st and 10 for the Cardinals. Here's their first running play, and it's a loss as Byron Evans dumps Moore in the backfield.
You know, they stopped it, but the Cardinals have got to run the ball against this Philadelphia defense. If they're forced to pass a lot, they're going to be in some deep, deep trouble. Evans just comes off a block real well and showing no ill effects of any kind of broken hand. Grabbed them and dragged them down with one arm.
A loss of 1, 2nd down and 11. Intended for Gary Clark.
right now this Phoenix offense is just a little off. Berline's throwing his passes a little off. They're missing a block here and there. They're getting the pressure. They're getting hit behind the line of scrimmage in running games, in running plays. And Joe Bugle has got to feel right now, what can I call? What can I settle these guys down with? Is it a run? I don't think that's going to settle anybody down, because that's going to get you in trouble on 3rd and 11. They got to throw it, and they got to protect.
3rd and 11. Johnny Bailey has come in for the Cardinals. Oh, Berline blasted by Byron Evans as he released it.
Well, so far, the Philadelphia defense you've seen, how much do you think these guys miss Reggie White right now?
Not much based on what I'm seeing.
A lot of pressure. They're playing against a Phoenix offense that was pounding the ball in the preseason, was very effective throwing the ball last week. And so far, they've got Phoenix on their heels and shaking.
4:14 to go in the first quarter. Camarillo, second punt. This can be returned by Sigahema from the 27. To the 42 with a flag thrown in on the back end of it. Weather conditions today ideal. Mid-80s. Wind is not a factor.
Jim, it's awful early to start saying gotta and have to, and they've got to stop them here. But Phoenix has got to have a strong defensive series right here. They've got to shut Randall Cunningham and this offense down so they can get their offense back on the field as soon as possible.
Philadelphia has possession and a 7-0 lead. A sellout today. First time in 3 years. Jim Nantz and Randy Cross, and the Eagles, well, they drove it 87 yards for a touchdown the last time they had it. 2 big catches by Mark Bavaro on that series. Start this drive from their 29 with Heath Sherman stumbling for about a yard. A hard-earned 1 yard. And it's time for an update. So let's send you back to New York. Take it away, Greg Gumbel.
All right, Jim, in Milwaukee, take a gander at Sterling Sharp's first reception of the season. Brett Favre from 50 yards out, 2 Ram defenders there, and it still gets back to Sharp for the touchdown. 9-3 Packers lead LA in the first quarter. Jim?
Sharp right where he left last season. One of the premier players in the league. 2nd down and 9. Walker lined up on the right side as a receiver. Cunningham. Good pass. Barnett has it. At the 44. Barnett fresh off a new contract. A big one. Makes him the 6th highest paid receiver in the National Football League.
I love those rankings. I moved to Atlanta this offseason, spent some time with Chris Hinton. Chris Hinton says, you know, this year I went from the 5th highest offensive paid lineman in the league to the 25th highest. And I said, what's that mean? He goes, I'm 25th. I said, what do you make? He goes, $950. I said, well, never mind.
Jerry Rice is number 1 in the league in that position, and Gary Clark too. Cunningham to Walker. Almost broke away, and he is down at the 40. 15 yards to the receiver, Herschel Walker.
And one of the best ways to give an offensive line confidence in pass protection is throw a lot of 3-step and 5-step passes. And that is exactly what the Eagles are doing to the Cardinals right now. They are carving them up in little spots in the zone. Randall Cunningham's throwing everything right now on timing. He's only a couple times gone first receiver, second receiver, Bavaro. Right now, he's just slicing these guys up.
Walker back in the backfield. Cunningham is slicing them up. 7 straight completions. He'll stay up top. There's number 8. Picking on Lynch. It's Barnett at the 35 in a gain of about 6.
And Eric Floyd, the starting right guard, comes limping off the field, kind of holding the back of his hamstring, and You got to think a player that kind of size, when you're talking about 310 pounds, that's a heck of a hamstring to be pulling.
Randall Cunningham got married in the offseason. Barnett and Calvin Williams were two of his groomsmen.
Yeah, Randall's got that typical newlywed euphoria about him. Everything's in wonderful. Flowers are always in bloom.
He's on a honeymoon today so far. 2nd down and 4. And Sherman for no gain. Tyrone Stowe right down the line of scrimmage to stay with him.
In this defense that Fritz Shurmur's put together in Phoenix, the key is the linebackers flowing. That Stowe and Harvey have got to flow from the inside out. You get good support from your safeties, but you have to have two very mobile inside linebackers. Stowe's more of the hammer man at 250 pounds, and Harvey's more of the speed guy, but Stowe can run pretty good for an inside linebacker.
3rd and 4, and Philadelphia goes to 2 tight ends. Cunningham flagged down in the backfield. He jumps out of bounds, enough for the first, but this probably is coming back.
And in this instance, you always look for the guy standing closest to the official on the other team who's pointing and clapping. And in this case, it's Eric Swan. He started pointing and clapping as soon as they threw that flag. He had to be the guy who was being held.
Holding, number 75 offense, 10 yards, repeat 3rd down.
That's Ron Selby, who was in for Eric Floyd at that right guard position, was going against Eric Swan and had to hold him. They've got to be holding a little bit. Remember, this defensive line is, 300, 360, 340. I mean, they're all 3-something.
I couldn't believe it. Even Reuben Davis, 340. I don't remember Reuben being over 300 back in his days with the Bucks. But it's 3rd and 14, 15 seconds to go in the first quarter. Looking for pressure. Nunn almost had Cunningham. He'll launch it toward the end zone, and it's intercepted. Chris Oldham picks it off in the end zone to end the first quarter.
That's a pass Randall Cunningham did not need to throw.
Phoenix will start from the 20-yard line when we get back for the second quarter. 7-0 Eagles at the end of the first to this game. We begin the second quarter with the Eagles leading 7-0 on a Heath Sherman 1-yard run for a touchdown.
Don't count on him being back. You're a big lineman, very muscular, as Eric Floyd obviously is. Look at that ice and the bandages they have on his leg there. That's ice underneath. Once you start icing a hamstring like that, it tightens up pretty much. I think he's done for the day. They're going to have to rely on Selby getting in there. They're talking about what a great backup Selby is. He's going to get his perfect opportunity to do some playing.
Selby was caught holding on that last series that ended in an interception.
That's called having a good grasp of your technique and opponent.
Oldham, by the way, the 2nd career interception for him, and he sets up the Cardinals from the 20. Moore darting through some holes. Good piece of running there, Randy, for 13 yards. Ron Moore, he gains 13. Cardinals had only 15 yards in the entire first quarter.
He has something in common with the Garrison Hurst and with Von Hebron. You never see their shoulders leave parallel. Look at their shoulders as they're running. He's going right, he's going left, but his helmet and those numbers never leave a bead on that goalpost down at the other end of the field. He's a kid that can go right and go left. He's not a Barry Sanders type. He's not an Emmett Smith type. He's not a Garrison Hurst type. He's a Ron Moore type.
He was a 4th-round pick for Phoenix. 1st and 10. Here he is. Clyde Simmons rode his back after 2, maybe 3. Clyde Simmons is, one columnist here wrote, the last of the Mohicans, the last of that famed gangrene defensive line that was such a story here in Philadelphia for the last 5 years or more.
Well, Clyde realizes what people are saying. This is his last year in Philly. He's going to get out. Mr. Brayman's not going to give him the money. He's not focusing on that. He's focusing on making this the best defense he can, and this can be a very good defense.
2nd down and 8. No flag, broken up by William Thomas. He reached in to bat it away from Ron Moore. William Thomas had a sprained knee during the preseason, missed the last 2 preseason games.
You talk about confidence and the quarterback position being a confidence game, and Randall Cunningham completing all those passes to start this game. On the exact opposite end of the spectrum is a start that Steve Berline's gotten off to in this game. I mean, he can't hit himself in the foot right now with a pass. I mean, he's been a little off, he's been a little short, and he's got confidence. He's got to show it.
2 of 9 on 3rd and 8. There's a great example of it, Randy. He overthrew an open Gary Clark near midfield. So 2 for 10 so far for Berline.
And those of you back in Phoenix and around here that are Cardinal fans that might expect to see a Chris Chandler if Berline does not do well, remember that sprained ankle Chandler suffered. He's still hobbled very badly. It's going to take something extremely radical, I think, to see Chandler. So Berline has got to have the time and will have the time to settle down.
Camarillo. This sails out of bounds at the 35. The Cardinals so far have managed only 2 first downs. The Eagles lead 7-0 early in the second. Here at the Vet in Philadelphia, where the Eagles were undefeated last year, the only team in the league to win all of their home games.
And thus far, the Eagles offense, Jim, has done what they said. Randall Cunningham told us, you look at this big nickel defense, it says you can't run against us, but Randall seems to think it says I can throw against you. And so far, he's thrown very well. They've tried to double the outsides. He's gone to Bavaro. They've gone to the left. They haven't stopped it to the left. They haven't stopped it to Bavaro.
Eric Floyd sent to the locker room, and number 75 has replaced him, Rob Selby. Selby will line up at right guard and go against the young guns defensive line of the Cardinals. It includes Keith Rucker, Eric Swan, Reuben Davis. First down, Philadelphia. Bavaro right into the mitt. Caught it at the 50, down at the 45. And I have to say, it's early, but Bavaro looks like the old Mark Bavaro of the Giants.
NFC East fans are very familiar with that guy catching passes in that part of the territory on the field and smacking defensive backs around and carrying them down the field. I remember when we played him back in, gosh, was it 86? Bavaro in a Monday night game carried Ronnie Lott, Eric Wright, and about 3 linebackers 10 yards for a first down, and it was a turning play in that game.
3 catches for 40 yards. Von Hebron's in. He's the single back. Watch him. Here's his first carry. Run of about 5, but there's a flag down at the line of scrimmage. I seem to remember that Bavaro catch against you guys. Is that the time you left the bench and also tried to bring him down?
We were playing a little, what was that game Bill Cosby describes, buck? You jump on everybody's back and try to knock them down.
We have illegal motion. The tight end went from the line of scrimmage in motion without stopping. 5 yards. Repeat, first down.
You wonder what that was? Going in motion without stopping? Take a look at this. Didn't stop, kept going. You got to get back, you got to get set, and then you go in motion. It can't be one big fluid movement.
He gets a little confused when he doesn't have a player riding on his back.
The arms on that guy. I mean, you talk about him as a receiver. I remember linebackers living in mortal fear of Mark Bavaro because he had such good hands inside. He'd get a hold of guys and just pancake them.
1st and 15. Randall rolling out. Another flag is down.
Well, just as we were talking about pancake blocks and getting your hands inside on guys, I think they might have caught Mr. Bavaro at that right tight end position, having a little too good a grasp on one of his opponents. In that case, I believe it was Reuben Davis, 93, the left defensive end.
Holding, number 84 offense, 10 yards. Repeat, first down.
So they have flagged Bavaro 2 straight plays, and look out, here's Selby. In for Floyd already, and he too is injured.
And that means the next backup for the Eagles has got to be Baldinger. He spelled Alexander the last couple preseason games at center, but he's got to be the next substituted guard. This hurts.
Cunningham drove the Eagles to a touchdown, although he was picked off in the end zone on another drive. Sherman scored from a yard out, and Berline is off target so far, but Rob Selby has been helped off the field, Randy.
Bad news for the Eagles. Watch Selby right here. Coming down, won't even get hit. This is a classic turf situation. Your body goes to stop, and your joint doesn't.
There's a replacement, 62, Brian Baldinger. It's 1st and 24. Von Hebron. It's about 2 yards.
Look at that wiggle. That play right there is a good illustration of what kind of player this Hebron can be. He didn't gain much on that. He didn't gain basically anything, but he made it exciting. There were people all in the backfield. He has that ability. You know, Richie Kotite says, when you get a player that you feel the excitement on the sideline from his own teammates when he's in the game, you know you got something special.
2nd and 22. The Eagles report to the box here that Selby has a sprained right knee and doubtful he'll return. Cunningham, flag down.
Could be another hold in there. Is it me, or does this whole process just take longer?
Yeah.
This is like decision by committee every year. It gets a little bit longer.
They found so many ways to speed up the game, even this year. Changing the play clock.
Number 78 offense, 10 yards, repeat 2nd down.
You want to put a clock on the officials now to be able to make a call and enact it within 30 seconds?
They got a hard enough job. I tell you the job I wouldn't want is umpire. You're standing right there behind the line of scrimmage. You got wide receivers, you got running backs, you got linebackers, you got offensive linemen trying to run you over, and defensive linemen. You can have their job. They do a great job for what they got to do.
2nd and 32. Victor Bailey, first NFL catch. Wearing the uniform number of a previous great wide receiver here, Mike Quick. 13 yards on this pass play.
And that's the kind of reception you love to see a rookie receiver make. But the kind of receptions that Randall Cunningham and the Eagles are expecting out of this kid is the kind where he catches the ball a la John Taylor or Jerry Rice about 5, 7, 10 yards downfield and breaks it. He's got the ability to take it and do something with it after he catches it.
3rd and 19. Go right through his hands.
Oh, and Broderick Thompson, the left tackle, is not happy because Randall Cunningham took a shot from Bankston at the end of this play. Keep an eye on this. Watch the interception. See, that's the problem when you don't have many career interceptions. Oldham's in his 4th year. He has 2 interceptions. He's not used to seeing the ball in his face.
Eagles to Johnny Bailey. Takes off at the 16 and gets about 11 on the return. Finds Sikahema downfield. No, it was James Joseph on the tackle. 9:43 to go in the first half.
One of these engines was filled with Castrol Syntec.
Bears have won 9 straight on opening day. It's the 2nd longest streak in NFL history. They'll go for number 10 today.
And I think this too shall pass, Jim. The Giants are a lot better team at this point than Dave Wannstedt's Bears.
Berline is picked off by William Thomas. Berline makes the tackle at the 9.
Bugle, just when you think things can't get much worse, here you go. Furline's overthrown a lot of them and gotten away with it so far, but he really overthrows more. And Thomas is right there. He just does get a little body block on Thomas and knock him down after that interception. Yeah, Joe Bugle's got to be thinking right now about getting out the old hook and going to whoever may be available right now, at least for a little while, to let Furline settle down, because this is an absolutely terrible start. I mean, a lot of it's not his fault, but it's a bad start for a quarterback who can really shake it.
First and goal from the 9-yard line. Cunningham, blocker in front, touchdown. There is a flag on the field.
Too bad there's a flag on that. That was a very well-designed play, kind of fun to watch, and a little altercation afterwards because Lorenzo Lynch took a little shot at Randall Cunningham's back.
No chance Phoenix was offsides, is there?
Well, I think you got enough guys in the white uniform saying they're offsides.
Offside. Penalty is refused.
Touchdown. And Randall Cunningham, with that touchdown run of 9 yards, went over 4,000 yards rushing in his career, the first quarterback in NFL history to do so.
This is kind of the counter tray with a quarterback. They pull the backside guard, they pull the backside tackle, and, you know, Randall, I know your knee's feeling a lot better, but take your 6 points, get into the end zone, and score. I don't think you need to be hurdling. You can get hurt doing that stuff. Not that I'd know. I don't do a lot of hurdling.
I'd love to see it.
I hurdle over matchboxes. That's about it.
I'd like to see that. Ruzick. It's 14-0. It's kind of a karate kick into the end zone for Cunningham.
Call it what you want. I call it 6.
A look behind the scenes as sports and science converge. Brought to you by
A sudden jolt, and they may call on number 23 right now. He strapped the helmet on, Garrison Hurst.
Well, they need a jolt. They need something good to happen, whether it's a big play or a score. They definitely need a score, but they need a big play, something positive. But you don't get a young guy, you know, whether it's Hurst or anybody else running. The biggest thing they got to think of, you got to think ball. Hold on to that ball, because trying to make things happen, the guys are hitting you from funny directions, and the holes are closing faster than you've ever seen, and the guys are running faster around you than you've ever seen. You're going to put that rock on the ground.
Well, remember, Hurst did not even play in the preseason at all, so he'll be seeing his first action as a pro. And about the hardest hit he's taken this summer was a high five from his agent.
As he was stepping out of the limo in Phoenix to sign his contract.
Exactly.
Well, so far, Phoenix has got 30 yards offense in 14 plays. So it's not a stretch to say they need a little shot and a little jolt.
Ruzick, another excellent kickoff through the end zone, and the Cardinals will begin at the 20. Garrison Hurst is indeed heading to the huddle for the Phoenix Cardinals, the 3rd selection in the draft, the first non-quarterback after Bledsoe and Meyer, but the last of 224 draftees from April to sign.
And that 5'11" you see on the height, I think the 5'11" could be a tad bit of a stretch. He's more of the 5'9.5" in shoes, 5'10" kind of a person, but he's built a lot like Emmitt Smith and Barry Sanders. He's very strong downstairs, and he's got some serious guns on those arms.
Here he is, Hurst. Spins for 2. Seth Joyner tackled him.
Don't you see the lineman moving?
The biggest problem for him in this game and in his career early on is going to be Hurst is going to be seeing holes just like he always saw holes in Georgia. He'll see a hole open up, at this level, instead of being open for a second, it's open for about a half a second to a quarter of a second. He's got to see that hole and hit it. There's no decision involved. It's got to be instinct.
2nd down and 8. Oh, he slipped that time. Gain of only 2. Tim Harris on the tackle. Hurst, during his 6-week holdout, he said his mother kept him busy cutting the grass and raking the yard. He also had a daily running and lifting regimen over at the University of Georgia. By the way, Montana has thrown a touchdown pass for the Chiefs as they lead, and Young to Jerry Rice twice already for touchdowns.
And they're up 17-0. Detroit's up 24-0 on the Falcons right now.
14-0 here. Scores and highlights coming up at halftime. Burline to Centers, and he breaks away for the first down. That was a 3rd down play, 3rd and 6, and a gain of 12.
Well, that's a little victory for the Cardinals in Burline. It's something worked. They got their back in there that can catch the passes, and Larry Centers, their 3rd down kind of guy, and he does something with it. Watch his spin right there. That's a nice move. He didn't quite get the block he might have anticipated before, but that's exactly what Larry Centers gives the Cardinals. He gives them a threat, not only in the flats. He's a receiver as a running back that can get down the middle of the field.
First down, play action, fake to Hurst. Man is open. Oh, Gary Clark, one of the most sure-handed receivers in the NFL for almost a decade, dropped it at midfield, looking for his first catch as a Cardinal.
If you have seen Gary Clark play much football, you have not seen him do this very often. Watch this. Even veterans get a little nervous, and even veterans make mistakes.
This veteran forecasted a win, in fact promised a win back home. Said, I guarantee a W and a pleasant plane trip home. 2nd and 10. Hurst, a loss of a yard. Andy Harmon grabbed him by the ankles.
I told you what, guarantee you one thing. Garrison Hurst said, you know, the veterans on my team aren't really giving me a bad time yet. They haven't had the chance to get to know me. They haven't had a chance to make me sing or do anything silly. The veterans of the Philadelphia Eagles defense so far have gotten to know Garrison pretty good because they've been with him in the backfield every time he's carried the ball.
3rd and 10. They take Hurst out. They bring Johnny Bailey into the backfield. Burline. That's a catch. Do they give him enough for the first down? It's Gary Clark. Clark had to come back for it. That's very close to the necessary yardage.
It's all a matter of a spot. Clark had to come back awfully far to get that ball. You know, there's frozen ropes and there's kind of like semi-frozen ropes. You know, when it's not quite frozen in the freezer, and that ball was definitely not quite frozen.
Well, he got the first down. So Gary Clark, his first catch as a Cardinal.
Best time to go back to a veteran who's a little bit mad after not doing something right the first time is give him a shot another time, and he'll do it for you. And that's what Gary Clark did. Made the easy one look hard and the hard one look easy.
You know, last year with the Redskins, he had 15 receptions on 3rd down, and all 15 of them went for first downs. Such is the case here. New set of downs for the Cardinals at their 45. Hurst has returned. Burline to Centers. Tackled at the 44 of Philadelphia. Into Eagle territory for the first time.
And here's the kind of an offense that the Cardinals showed in the preseason, especially in their last game against the Broncos. They got a little bit of running, not much so far, but they're spreading the ball around. They're getting it to Clark. They're getting it to Centers. They've got to involve Ricky Prohl. They've got to involve Randall Hill, but it's getting better. They're getting some confidence. They're having some success.
That was an 11-yard gain, first down. They go back to Hurst. And he falls forward for about 3. Seth Joyner again on the hit.
When you have a running back like Garrison Hurst, even the crowd here in Philadelphia, I think, has that sort of sudden intake of breath every time he carries the ball. They're expecting him to do something. They're expecting him to pop.
So far, 4 carries for 5 yards. Second down and 8. However, they're moving it on this series. Oh, a sack. A sack by Keith Millard. Welcome back to Keith Millard, the first sack of the game.
Some linemen look smooth. Some linemen are quick. Keith Millard throws about 70 fits a game. They snap the ball, he throws a fit. He threw a fit all over Steve Berline there.
It's been a long road back for Millard, the '89 Defensive Player of the Year. Blew out a knee in '90, set out all of '91, played half the season last year with the Packers, and then retired after getting injured. But he looks very healthy right now. 3rd and 14 for the Cardinals. Here comes the rush again. Bailey, open room for Bailey. Has the first down inside the 30. And down at the 17. Ben Smith took his legs away, but the Cardinals have advanced it inside of the 20. 31 yards.
Nice call by Joe Bugel and his staff in this case. You got a defensive line that's just smoking after the quarterback. You got linebackers that are aggressive. You dump the ball on a little screen. And Johnny Bailey, who was the NCAA's all-time career rushing leader, you get him out in the open, he could be dangerous. Look at the move he puts on there. Just shakes away. Now watch Ben Smith right there. That's something Ben Smith hasn't had a chance to do in 2 years. That's come up and smack somebody.
First down, Phoenix from the 17. Hurst, another loss. This time, Mike Flores.
Well, you can do a lot of things when you get that pigskin in your hand, but one of them better not be hesitate. And Garrison Hurst would seem to be getting a little bit frustrated because every time it seems he gets the ball, he's got a green helmet with wings at it staring at his legs.
That's a loss of 3 on that carry.
Fine play by Flores. Don't make that belittle that at all. Flores is a surprise of camp. Had a great camp, but these Cardinals are having some success. But now's when you have to punch it in. You're getting in the red zone.
2nd and 13, and Randall Hill leaps for the catch and has another set of downs at the 7. Eric Allen on the coverage. Hill's 2nd catch of the day for 15 yards.
And here's a wide receiver that can celebrate darn near anything. He's going to celebrate this catch, but he should celebrate a little bit. Nice effort. Berline gets this ball up in the air a little bit. And Eric Allen, the Pro Bowl All-Pro cornerback, far enough off Randall Hill that he's able to go up and get after it.
2:05 to go, nearing the 2-minute warning. 1st and goal. And they don't get a playoff in time. 2-minute warning. The Cardinals driving, moving it for the first time today. Philadelphia leads 14-0. Second quarter, Randall Cunningham from 9 yards out ran it in. Steve Berline on target on this drive.
He started off shaky, was having a tough time there for a while, but what he's done on this drive is he's just put the ball where it had to be. A little high to Randall Hill on that last one, but that really doesn't matter when you have an athlete like that that can go up and get it.
So it'll be 1st and goal from the 7.
I think with Joe Bugel's mentality, you kind of that Redskin thinking, everybody's thinking wide receiver. Watch the tight end.
Garrison Hurst. About a 1-yard run. Thomas and Evans, the linebackers.
Well, so far, that's 6 carries for 3 yards, so, what, 997 to 1,000,
He's almost there.
Off tackle.
Averaging a half-yard per carry.
And here, 2nd and 6. Don't forget, last year when the Cardinals played here in Philadelphia, Philadelphia smacked a real goal line stand on them. 7 plays, 7 shots. And they ran them all up the middle and couldn't get him in, but there were still 7 plays.
Some say the greatest goal line stand in Philadelphia history. Batted down by Tim Harris. It'll be 3rd and goal.
See, if you're an offensive lineman and you're standing still at the line of scrimmage, you're doing a pretty good job. If you're a defensive lineman and you're standing still at the line of scrimmage, you can still do a great job. He's nowhere near the quarterback, but that ball gets thrown right in his chops, and he gets credited for a knockdown pass.
1 minute, 18 seconds to go in the second quarter. They have kept the football for over 8 minutes. But it's 3rd and goal. They need 6.
We haven't seen any of Ricky Kroll.
Coverage by Mark McMillan. They're going for Randall Hill.
Watch the great job McMillan does of getting his body in between the quarterback and the receiver he wants to throw it to. He wants to get this ball into the end zone. Look at McMillan make his break right there. Fine play. I mean, McMillan's taking some heat. People don't want to go after Allen, so they go after McMillan. But in that case, a great play of getting in front of Hill.
Greg Davis will try to put some points on the board. Had a good preseason, but a lousy 92. From 24 yards, it's good. Philadelphia 14, Phoenix 3. 1:11 to go before halftime. What does that do for their frame of mind after keeping it 8.5 minutes, driving all that way, 15 plays, and you come up with 3?
That's sort of a moral victory, but I think Joe Bugle and this Cardinal team need some victories, and a moral victory at this point is they're just got to settle for that. They're not being shut out. They've moved the ball. They've proved they can do it. The execution inside the 20 is the hardest thing for an offense that hasn't been together intact with a new quarterback.
Coming up on the NFL Today halftime report, Greg and Terry will have all the scores and highlights from this opening week of the NFL season. Plus, Pat O'Brien will get you updated on the U.S. Open. That's all coming up at halftime. "16 plays they actually had it, 74 yards. And it ends with a 24-yard field goal by Greg Davis.
And don't count out the Eagles' chances in this type of a situation with their wide receivers. This is a perfect chance. You talk about guys like Barnett. We mentioned the young wide receiver Bailey and his ability to take the ball. Here's where your wide receivers are featured, and your tight end can eat up big chunks of yardage.
From the goal line. Sider just across the 20. Both teams have all 3 timeouts remaining.
And this is the first real live kind of ammo situation that coordinator Zeke Bradkowski and Randall Cunningham there have had a chance to execute the 2-minute offense. This is a regular season game. This is a perfect situation. A minute and 5 seconds to go with 3 timeouts with a good offense and a leader that can run the offense is plenty of time. It's a great opportunity to get a good drill in.
6 defensive backs in for the Cardinals. Cunningham looked right, goes left. Walker shakes off 1 tackle. And that's actually a fumble on the play. Boy, what a call. Lorenzo Lynch wanted a touchdown. It was stripped away by Michael Bankston. They'll rule Walker down at the 20, a pass play that lost 2 yards.
It's one of the things, if you're strong and you're fighting and you're trying to stay up, at what point are you down?
That's a fumble.
Not a chance.
That is a fumble, and it should have been 6.
Huge break for the Philadelphia Eagles. Boy, that was a quick whistle because that ball came right out as soon as he was hit from the back.
It's not even a question. That's the kind of break Joe Bugle was looking for. And he doesn't get the call. 2nd and 12. Hard-nosed hit by Ken Harvey.
Randall and the Eagles obviously now just satisfied to go in the locker room with their 11-point lead, which should be a 4-point lead after that last play. One more time, let's look at the fumble. Not the alleged fumble, not the non-fumble. Let's look at the fumble. Here comes Herschel. Here comes the hit in the backside. The ball is out. Bankston knocked it out. Lynch picks it up, and he should have scored.
That's the end of the first half with the score. Philadelphia 14, the Phoenix Cardinals 3. Well, the Eagles have run for 2 touchdowns and lead 14-3, but it could have been a lot closer. And here to explain, Randy Cross.
Well, we've had a lot of Eagles offense so far. Cunningham's looked good, but the play of the game is really sort of the non-play of the game. Now watch Herschel Walker's run here. It was ruled not a fumble. Here comes Herschel. Watch from the backside. Bankston, 63, is going to come in, and the ball goes, it goes to the ground. That is a fumble. A big momentum swing for the Cardinals. Would have made the score 14-10. One more time, the look you saw if you're watching this game. Here it comes. Here comes Herschel. He's going to move to his left as he cuts back to the right. Bankston right now to the back of the ball. 63, the ball is clearly down. It is clearly a fumble. And if you're Joe Bugel and the Cardinals, you got to be thinking right now, we need those kind of breaks. We got to have them.
All right, halftime stats. The Cardinals finally started to move the ball right before the end of the second quarter. They had only 1 first down in the opening quarter, where the Eagles started out with 10 in the opening stanza. Points off of turnovers. The Eagles with 7, and the time of possession pretty balanced. But 14-3 on the board. The Eagles will kick to start the second half. They will kick to Anthony Edwards and Johnny Bailey. That will not be returned. Well, they've made a change at quarterback. Chris Chandler is indeed going to play today. He comes in for Burline.
Well, just as they brought Hurst in at the end of the second quarter there for the last couple series to try to make something happen, they had to give Chandler a shot. Burline was the first one to admit it yesterday when we talked to him, Jim. If I can't make it happen, I know Chandler's on the sideline, and Joe will not hesitate to bring him in.
But does it surprise you after the fact that Burline moved the team last time they had it?
I don't think so. I think Chandler didn't really have a proper shot in the preseason in this competition. He got hurt, and he's going to get a shot right now. You know, this isn't a fair shot. People say, well, gee, if he didn't get a shot in the preseason because he got hurt, what's fair about being at Philadelphia down 14-3? Well, nobody in the NFL or in life said things have got to be absolutely fair, and this is a great opportunity for last year's MVP to try to be this year's MVP.
Yeah, he was voted by his teammates as the most valuable player for the Cardinals in '92. Johnny Bailey gained 1 yard on first down. It's 2nd and 9. Good pass. Ricky Prohl's first catch, and boy, he holds on after a jarring hit from Joyner. And that's enough for the first down.
But he's trying to act like he's pointing first down. Oh, there's nothing wrong with me. A little orthodontic surgery here, a little check. How many teeth you got, Ricky? Let's see, 1, 2, 3. Well, they're all still there. There's none on my tongue, so that's a good sign.
Left my teeth chattering after that one. Joyner, what a hit, but a first down for the Cardinals. Bailey squirts for about 5. Byron Evans got him in the middle. Chris Chandler last year threw for 2,800 yards and 15 touchdowns. But in the preseason, limited because of that sprained left ankle, he took only 55 snaps in preseason games.
And I'm sure in the back of their minds there's a lot of thought for the Phoenix Cardinal offensive players. This is the guy that did it for us last year, and this is the guy that should do it for us this year.
2nd and 5. Incomplete, looking for Randall Hill. Everyone knows that Chandler's more comfortable with the system since he started 13 games in 1992 and really had a tight relationship. It was all bonded together last year with Jerry Rome. Kind of the same thing we're seeing form right now with Zeke Rutkowski and Randall Cunningham.
don't know if this is so much a statement about the quarterback position as is a statement by Joe Bugle that he is willing to get anything going. Because the last thing he wants to do is come out of here having to go 9 and 6.
3rd and 5. Ball is tipped and knocked away by Tim Harris. Second time he's batted him down.
And that's what Tim Harris gives you. Tim Harris does not always give you the spectacular plays, but we've seen him bat a couple balls down. We've seen him give some pressure. We've seen him give up some blockers, eat some blockers up so Millard next to him could get some pressure.
Rich Camarillo to punt for the 4th time by Sikahema. The returner, the all-time punt return yardage leader. Oh, my goodness! Right over the head of Camarillo, and he'll take the safety. Connie Kawhi snapped it over his head. Same thing happened in their last preseason game against Denver last week. And put up a quick 2 for the Eagles. He snapped that far enough that it could have reached the island of Kauai.
That's it. And right now, Connie Kawhi would like a hole to crawl into underneath this artificial turf, and Rich Camarillo needed a ladder to get after that thing. That was a rocket, and that is a case of a center letting one get away. A center as experienced as Connie Kawhi doesn't look when he snaps the ball. He's looking at the fronts. He's looking at everything he thinks he needs to do. He assumes he can get the ball back there. And there's an old saying about assuming, and it applies right there.
Kawhi used to play for the Cardinals, played for him for 3 years, and then spent 92 with Kansas City. They grabbed him in the offseason and felt they had the best long snapper in the NFL.
Well, they still might. I mean, Connie is a high quality snapper. He's made a couple mistakes the last 2 weeks, but you know, I can understand two things. I can understand quarterbacks that throw passes once in a while that are off, and naturally, because I did snap a few balls over punters' heads, I understand that from time to time, too.
So the free kick from Camarillo. 16-3. Seidner to the 36. So 12:38 to go in the 3rd quarter. A safety added for the Eagles. Doubleheader day, week 1 of the NFL season, and next you'll see the Giants and the Bears. Vern Lundquist along with John Madden from Soldier Field. That's coming up next right here on CBS. Wannstedt and Reeves. They make their debuts for the Giants and Bears. 16-3. Eagles lead. Heath Sherman tries to get around the end on the right side. No gain.
Reuben Davis got that play from the left defensive end. It's the kind of thing the Cardinals need to do at the start of this second half, is they need to stifle Randall Cunningham and this offense. They have got to make something happen. If they have to score points, they've got to make something happen when they know their offense is struggling.
Everyone in tight on 2nd and 10. Williams and Barnett are the receivers. Play action. Cunningham fires it. Almost intercepted by Aeneas Williams on the tip.
And right there on that play was Chuck Cecil, number 26 for the Cardinals, the guy that Randall Cunningham and the Eagles want to try to take advantage of. They know Cecil there in the lower left of your screen, 26, is a headhunter and a hitter. They want to influence him with the play action, but he wasn't biting and going for it that time, and ooh, Williams almost had that. That was a close one. You know, Chuck Cecil talks about play action passes. He goes, it's really easy to figure out. And I was taught this when I was playing. He goes, I watch uncovered linemen. If the linemen are going out aggressively, I know it's a run. If they're standing up, I know it's a pass.
Timeout on the field. 16-3 Philadelphia. By the way, that last time out was charged to Philadelphia. The Eagles leading here 16-3. They've added a safety in the third quarter. And Harvey testing that knee that knocked him out last November. Herschel Walker, the lone back on 3rd and 10. Man is open. Good for the first down. It's Seidner. He fumbles on the back end of it. Phoenix football.
Great hustle by Chris Oldham. Number 27 comes all the way downfield and knocks that ball out from behind. Wow, what a nice play. 40 yards down the field. I believe he was actually involved in a safety blitz, turned around and sprinted down the field. Now watch everybody come after Randall Cunningham. There's Oldham on the right, 27. He's blitzing. Now you keep an eye on that right side of the screen. Watch 27 right there. Bang. There goes the ball. And that was a fumble. Joe Bugle and the Cardinals got that one. That is out. The fans don't like it here, but of course we're in Philadelphia. They could be booing anything.
That was the proper call, no question. Seidner had sprung free, but the Eagles turned it over for the second time. Chandler is still the quarterback. Play action and rolling out. Intended for Gary Clark. Mark McMillan, Little Mac on the coverage.
And just another example, you saw it earlier on Randall Hill by the goal line, but McMillan gets in between Chandler and Clark and the ball. He just got in there with his right shoulder, knocked that ball away. It was a nice play, nice execution by the Cardinals, but just better execution by McMillan.
How about the Cardinals? They should have had a fumble recovery by Lynch in the first half, and it was Lynch who in fact fell on that last one. That did count. Ron Moore on 2nd and 10. Excellent pursuit by the Eagle defense.
And they talk about this defense, you know, Reggie White's gone, so-and-so is going to be gone, Tim Harris is here now, he can't do those things. But what this defense has always done is whether it's here or here or here or here, they pursue to the ball. Watch them run from the backside after Moore. They've all got their lanes. Here comes Evans. I mean, there's nowhere to go. Moore can't cut back. There's linemen, and there's linebackers in front of him.
3 receivers for the Cardinals on 3rd and 10. Clark has it, comes back, looking for the first down chain. That's a first down. That was a heady play by Gary Clark.
It was a tight wire walking act by Gary Clark there at the very end. McMillan, he drives McMillan off, comes back for the ball. Now watch his feet. He comes down, doesn't step out of bounds, then leaps and stretches. Well,
brilliant play.
That's the kind of play you make when you're a guy that gets lured away from another team with a whole bunch of money.
First down for Phoenix. Back to Clark. Oh, another drop. They flatten Chandler, and there's a flag down. It's going to be roughing the passer.
I believe Chandler caught a shot somewhere above the shoulders, which would have to be your head. And I think it was Tim Harris was the culprit on that one. Just for once didn't get the ball.
Foul. Roughing the passer, number 97, 15, first down.
Ooh, that's going to put the Cardinals into Philadelphia territory.
And here comes Tim Harris, completely unmolested. 1, 2, 3, shot to the back. Well, some defensive linemen would tell you it's worth taking a penalty sometime to give a quarterback a shot like that because he had plenty of time to stop.
The official forgot to pick up his flag.
With Timmy Harris around, he might need it. Tim's always been a guy to talk, and when they're not listening, try talking louder. Maybe they'll hear you. He's a guy that can get an opponent distracted.
First down, Phoenix from the 41 of Philadelphia. Moore. Powerful 5-yard carry. Byron Evans brought him down. .10:20 remaining in the third quarter. Joe Bugle's team. They can take it across here. They're within 6.
Well, what they need to do is they need to spread their ball out a little bit more as far as the passing game goes. We've seen Larry Centers catch some balls. We've seen Randall Hill catch maybe 1 or 2. We've seen Gary Clark catch and not catch a bunch. You know, where's Ricky Prohl? Where's Butch Roll? Where's the rest of the receivers?
Prohl has caught only 1 ball. That was here in this quarter. Chandler on 2nd and 5. And Clark, they ruled it a catch, and they rule him down at the 27. Clark working against Eric Allen, the Pro Bowl cornerback for the Eagles. He's had good days against Allen in the past.
Pushes him off, gets almost a full 5-yard bumper. Goes down after it. Watch what happens. See his arms? His arms are between the ball and the ground, and he traps it into his chest. That's not a hand catch, that's a chest catch.
First down. Right back to him, and another drop by Clark. That is now 3 that he's had right in his hands.
Well, it's not something real unusual. Gary Clark was known to put one on the ground every once in a while in Washington, but rarely in crucial situations like this when his team really needs him to get out there and get it going. You'll see a quick reaction there. The 49ers in Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh's come back to 17-10.
Clark, the only receiver in the league the last 8 years to every year have at least 50 receptions. 2nd and 10. Chandler. Oh, Hill was looking for it at the 10. May have been deflected first by Seth Joyner.
One of the things that are invaluable to a defense is having a linebacker like Seth Joyner. Watch how high up. He's dropped off into his zone. Watch how high up the ground he gets trying to go after this pass. I mean, that looks like a defensive back. You don't coach that, and you certainly don't allow for that in the passing game. Offensive coaches will tell you the linebacker's there, but don't worry, the wide receiver's far enough away, you just arch it over.
3rd and 10 from the 27. Sinners across the middle. Got a block. He's open in the 10 and in for the touchdown. Larry Sinners on a pass from Chris Chandler, and the Cardinals are right back into this game.
That was a nice call. A little dump. The Eagles were coming after him, and we talked earlier about Larry Sinners. That's what he does best for this team. Kind of a 3rd down, dump him the ball, give him a ball over the middle, and give him some room to run. There's Mark May out in front of him. But the key block comes right there, and it's Gary Clark doing that little extra thing. You saw it in Washington. He's still doing it in Phoenix.
He cleared out that left sideline. You could just see it open up from our viewpoint. Davis, the point after, puts Phoenix within 6. 8:53 remaining third quarter. Philadelphia 16, Phoenix 10. Larry Sinners with a 27-yard touchdown catch and run, the longest reception of his career in 4 years. And the Cardinals have their first touchdown of 1993. 68 yards they drove. Now they break free, the Cardinals, as Davis boots it. Steiner, who fumbled earlier from the goal line this time, swarmed under, just shy of the 20. Tonight on CBS, here's the lineup. 60 Minutes, followed by Murder, She Wrote, and the CBS Sunday movie Mother of the Bride, starring Rue McClanahan, Ted Shackelford, and little Christy McNichol.
Haven't watched TV much lately, have you, Jim?
not little, but I always harken back to those days of, what was it, Battle of the Network Stars and Howard Cosell. She was always the MVP. Theo was pretty talented too, I'm told. From the 17, Cunningham, Barnett just standing waiting for it across the 30 to the 33.
And Randall Cunningham's gone back to what really was successful in that first half, and that's letting his receivers get into the zone, settling down into the holes. Watch Barnett. He's just static. He's waiting for the defense to come open around him, and when that opens up, Randall Cunningham zips that ball right in there. You got to get pressure on Cunningham. Freddie Joe Nunn got it kind of close. Davis got kind of close. You got to get in his face and hit him.
First down, mix-up. Sherman. Well, he knocks Cunningham down.
I mean, if you're a defense, you're happy if they're willing to hit him with their own guys. If the running back's willing to smack his quarterback, and little miscommunication.
Do we give Cunningham an assist on the tackle? Boom.
Ooh, that's called, you know, people talk about all the time about running backs running between point A and point B. Well, somewhere between point A and point B, Randall Cunningham was standing on that one.
2nd and 11. Right side and through the hands of Aeneas Williams, intended for Calvin Williams. Another near interception for fine third-year player from Southern University.
That's 2 or 3 times so far the Cardinal defenders have dropped interceptions they really should have had. This team is not good enough yet to afford to give a team like the Eagles a break, not to take advantage of mistakes. And Joe Bugel knows full well that every time he gets a chance and gets a break, he can't have the officials taken away, and he can't have his defensive team not take advantage of it.
It's 3rd and 11. Calvin Williams shy of the first. Chris Oldham on the tackle. Oldham having a very nice day here today.
Very much. You know, that showed me a little something. Good pursuit by Oldham, but also, you know, he took a good shot from Chuck Cecil. Chuck Cecil didn't wrap him up. He just ran right out of that tackle, and Chuck Cecil's not a safety that a lot of receivers run away from his tackles too often.
Jeff Feagles, who lives in Scottsdale, Arizona, in the offseason, boots it away. And a Phoenix bounce out of bounds near the 30. It was 14-0 Eagles. Now the Cardinals have trimmed it to 16-10. Well, Phoenix has lost 7 straight road games in the NFC East. The last time they won at a division opponent was here in Philadelphia, September of '91. In fact, overall, they've only won 1 of their last 14 road games. Green Bay pummeling the Rams.
Reggie White's got nothing to do with the 33 points Green Bay scored, but I imagine he's got a little bit to do with the 6 points that the Rams have.
Next week, the Eagles will be playing Green Bay on the road.
Doing a good job.
Reggie White against his old teammates. White against Antone Davis. But now the Cardinals have come back in this game from 14 down.
And now the challenge for Chris Chandler is to convince his offense, convince this team that they can win this game. They've got to move the ball. They've got to be efficient.
One long. He was hit when he threw it. And intercepted, but out of bounds. Rich Miano was out of bounds. Chandler, that ball was wobbling all the way. He took a hit right when he released it.
Chandler's lucky he got this away, because this is what's called a meeting at the quarterback by the defensive line. They say, we'll take 4 seconds, then I'll see you at 17. And Andy Harmon does a good job. He's the first one, and he puts him down, and he keeps Chandler from following through. I mean, I don't think it would have made much of a difference, because the receiver is definitely not open.
2nd and 10. Walter Reeves, number 86, moved early.
False start prior to the snap. Number 65 offense, 5 yards, still second down.
Just started about 5 yards too early. You don't usually see the defensive guys get jerked off by the quarterback's motion and by his voice, but a lot of the times that defensive guy moves. That time it was the young guy. Dye heard that noise, and he just jerked right off into the backfield.
Second down. It's only the second penalty today against Phoenix. Second and 15. Clark still on his feet. About a yard shy of the first.
Chandler's being smart. The Cardinals are being smart. They're giving Gary Clark so much respect and so much room. They got to take advantage of it. If Eric Allen and McMillan are going to keep backing up and giving him 3, 4, 5 yards, they got to keep giving it to Gary Clark.
It'll be 3rd and 1. They bring Larry Sinners into the game. And Garrison Hurst. The rookie has found little room to operate with, but maybe he'll be called on to get the tough yard right now. They go to him. See if he delivers. I don't think so. Tim Harris got to him first.
Did not get it. He's going to be about a foot short, I think, once they spot this thing. He looked to be just short of the first down. I know the Philadelphia fans are happy about that. There's no decision here. With 5:20 to go in the third quarter, you kick this. I don't care about the field position. You get rid of this ball, and you don't let something negative happen when you're just starting to create things positive.
Well, that brings back memories of last year when they couldn't get 1 yard from the goal line, 6 tries, and they lost the game here, 6-3. A low snap, fielded by Camarillo. Stops at the 27, out of bounds. Boy, that was another hairy situation. But Philadelphia has it with a 6-point lead.
What was the rationale? You punt the ball, you don't do anything, take a chance that could beat you? Well, the punting game is turning into the adventurous part of the Phoenix Cardinals offensive attack, as Connie Kawhi snapped one over the punter's head and made Camarillo take a safety, and the last time sort of double hopped it back there to Camarillo.
He made sure that one wasn't going over his head.
Yeah. Didn't go over too many painted lines
unless it took an ugly bounce. Von Hebron, the rookie, play action fake to him. He's in the game. Hebron. Cunningham keeps to the 35, a gain of about 7. John Booty slashed him down after a gain of 7. There's John Booty, who played for the Eagles and started 11 games last year. One of the free agents acquired in the offseason by the Cardinals.
And it was a nice run by Cunningham. Cunningham makes the point, Jim, that last year after that knee injury, I was running to kind of slide and running to maybe make yards. He goes, this year, I promise you, when I'm running to make something happen. If I have to, I slide, but I'm running for yards.
Got 7 on that one. Second down and 3 on Hebron. First down to the 45. A run of 10 yards.
Well, what can you say when you see a young, exciting running back like this? You just kind of look and go, wow, what's he doing? How's he do that? How does he move those body parts that fast in that many directions?
He finally started signing autographs this week. He failed to do that, refused to do that all through camp in the preseason because he said, I haven't made the team yet. He wasn't trying to be mean-spirited.
He said, it's not an attitude. He goes, I figured I was just renting this jersey in the preseason.
First down. Here he is, Hebron. And 4 yards on that carry. Freddie Joe Nunn on the hit.
The thing about this kid, you look in the program, and you look at Hebron. He's 5'8", he's 196 pounds. You figure, hey, it's a mismatch. You get a linebacker / defensive lineman like Freddie Joe, he's got to be able to take him and throw him back. Wrong. Hebron always goes forward. How he does that with 190 pounds, I don't know. But he seems to always be going forward.
Undrafted rookie out of Virginia Tech. Second down and 6. Maybe a little too low for him at the Phoenix 40.
That's an instance right there where the ball doesn't quite get to you fast enough. As you're kind of falling back and moving backwards, the ball isn't coming towards you. It's like, come on, come on, come on, come on, get there before I fall, and the ball didn't get there quite in time.
Third down situation at the 49. Philadelphia leading with 2:45 to go third quarter, 16-10. It was 14-0 at one time. Open receiver, Calvin Williams looked up.
It wasn't fancy. They gave up some yards, but that's what the Phoenix defense needs to do. They need to get a little confidence going. Not so much confidence in themselves, confidence that their offense can get the ball back out there, that the offense can move the ball, and their offense can keep them off the field.
Johnny Bailey will return the punt. He averaged over 13 yards a return last year, top in the league. Well, they're on him in a hurry. Only a 1-yard return this time. Tackled by Vaughn Hebron. Doing it all. Hey, tomorrow at 12:30, Labor Day Monday, live coverage of the U.S. Open from the National Tennis Center in Flushing Meadow. Featured matches include Michael Chang against Wayne Ferrara and Pete Sampras against Thomas Inquist. Inquist, the one who knocked out Andre Agassi in the first round. Also Martina Navratilova against Helena Sukova. That's tomorrow at 12:30. Crowd on its feet as Wes Hopkins has come into the Philadelphia secondary. Ron Moore will quiet him. Hopkins makes the tackle, but not until Moore reached the 28, a run of 14 yards.
Well, the crowd here in Philadelphia is a little sarcastically, I think, cheering Wes Hopkins because of his situation. He wasn't signed, went to Kansas City, got cut, came back. You want to see your favorite player and a good defensive player make a big play when he comes back. Ideally, if you're an Eagles fan, you don't want to see him make it 14 yards, 13 yards down the field.
Not a good sign. Just picked up this week. Played only one preseason game with the Chiefs, then cut on Monday, but back home with the Eagles. 1st and 10 for the Cardinals. Moore again. A battering 4-yard run to about the 32. Ron Moore, much more productive so far than Garrison Hurst, the other rookie running back.
Well, I think Moore has had a little bit better opportunity. He's less of a marked man. I think defenses are going to turn it up just a couple of notches against Garrison Hurst. Plus, you know, it's just like running out on the freeway. I mean, things are moving so fast that Garrison Hurst, he can't miss the cars. They keep running them over.
Second down and 5. Chandler tried to get Clark on a slant pattern. He had pressure, the quarterback did, from Seth Joyner. Chandler says it's my fault.
And this is a nice example. You know, you always hear the term, get your arms up, get your hands up in the quarterback's face. Chandler's got plenty of places to throw this ball, but because Seth Joyner zips those hands up and gets them up there, he distracts the quarterback, and Chandler misses an easy pass to Clark.
3rd and 5. A minute, 8 seconds remaining in the third quarter. 16-10 Philadelphia. Chandler, Clark has the first down, makes the juke move on Ben Smith. First down at the 45, 13-yard play.
Ben Smith is a little mad there. He took a little frustration out on Gary Clark, but he was giving him a pretty good cushion, much like McMillan and Allen have been giving Gary Clark a cushion. Ben Smith did that time, and Chandler got him the ball and let him do his thing.
21 months since Ben Smith played football, the 1990 first rounder out of Georgia. His knee shredded in a game in November of '91. Long battle back to this game today. Moore on first down and moves the pile for about 2 yards. Rich Miano was the first man to hit him. We're running out of time here in the third quarter. Third quarter with a safety for the Eagles and a touchdown on a pass play from Chandler to Sinners for the Cardinals. So that's the end of the third quarter with the score. Philadelphia 16 and Phoenix 10. Our coverage will continue after this message from your local station. You're watching the NFL on CBS. Back in Philadelphia for the start of the final quarter. Jim Nantz along with Randy Cross. The Eagles here at home have the longest win streak, home win streak that is, in the NFL. They've won 9 in a row, including all of their home games last year. Phoenix, though, near midfield, trailing 16-10. 2nd and 8 as we start the fourth quarter. Ron Moore for no gain. Anthony Harmon on the hit.
You know, Jim, this is the situation. You know, we've seen Phoenix the last couple of years, and they've been enthusiastic and optimistic at the beginning of the year, and it seems their situation come up like this. This is where a young team that could potentially be a good team, but could also potentially be a losing team, goes one or two ways. Finds a way to drive this ball down there. Finds a way to be leading in a game they have no business leading in. Finds a way to stuff their opponent. Can they do it? That's kind of the hump these guys have to get over. They've got to find a way in a visiting park to have success.
Here's one hump, 3rd and 9. Chandler to Clark, overthrew an open receiver. Well, this is the kind of situation that the Cardinals were in as far as point margin, Randy, last year. Look at this one.
They could have turned that big hump into a speed bump right here if he gets this ball to Gary Clark. Clark catches this on the run. It's 6 points, and they have a 1-point lead.
It's been interesting now on the punt snaps. Connie Kawhi.
Connie and Rich's wild adventure.
Perfect this time. Camarillo to Singahema. He'll let it go. Touchback. 53-yard punt into the end zone. 14 minutes remaining. Eagles lead by 6.
Is sponsored by Budweiser.
Well, in this game so far, Cunningham with good numbers. Berline replaced by Chandler to start the third quarter, and Chandler threw a touchdown pass. Berline only 7 out of 19 with an interception that set up a touchdown for the Eagles.
You know, the Phoenix defense told us in the meetings, we expect to limit most teams and this team to 14 points. Well, so far, realistically, you could probably say they have limited the Eagles to 14 points. They had no part in Connie Kawhi's snap. But they expect their offense to put more points on the board than this. Bad situations like this, maybe the defense needs to play a little offense. They need to hold on to one of those interceptions and make something happen. Don't drop a gift if you get another one.
They've had some gifts that they've rejected. First down for Philadelphia. Fakes to Hebron, goes to the other side with Walker, and Aeneas Williams meets him at the 20. Walker is down at the 21.
Nice job by Aeneas Williams and Freddie Joe Nunn. They didn't buy that first pump on the fake screen left. Stayed with things coming over to the right. So far, the offense of the Philadelphia Eagles in the second half has sputtered a little bit. They look kind of like the Phoenix offense has. They've made things happen on occasion, but they found enough ways to drop balls and not make things happen.
Walker and Hebron are the running backs. Now they send Walker out in motion. Here's Hebron. Flag thrown on the backside of that play. Walker threw a good block for the rookie.
And that's right in that area when you throw that flag down, either a hold or a late hit.
personal foul, late hit, number 90, 15 yards from the end of the run, first down.
Now, if you're going to illustrate this, show you how he does it, he runs this way and then kind of does this, that. And then watch his head, because that's where the personal foul is going to come. Watch this. Wiggle right, wiggle left, more left, little right, little stick. Ouch. Tyrone Stowe right in the back of the head, right?
Spear job.
There.
Yep.
That's, you know, it looks bad in slow motion. That's one of those marginal things where a defender is going full speed, makes that split-second decision to go ahead and hit him.
15 yards gives him a first down at the 45. Cunningham blockers in front. This is a design play. And written out of bounds by Dave Duerson. 19 yards on the run by Cunningham.
That's kind of a page out of our former colleague John Robinson's old book, those plays at USC, the student body right and left, and Philadelphia is adapting kind of the Randall right, Randall left type of an offense. Randall definitely is showing the confidence in his running ability.
That Kansas City lead of 24-3. We hear Montana has a sore wrist and is now out of the game, but he has thrown 3 touchdowns in that game against the Bucks. First down, Hebron, open alley, here comes Hebron. Down at the 5. He broke 4 tackles on this run.
Well, all preseason long, he's been juicing up this crowd. He's been juicing up his teammates with enthusiasm. He made the point Friday. He said, you know, Coach Kotite actually called me by my first name today. It's usually Hey Kid or Hey 45. He will not forget Vaughn Hebron's name from now on. He's going to be a big part of this offense for a long time.
Broderick Thompson really cleared that left side for him, too. Here's first and goal. Hebron from the 5. Hebron is in. Touchdown, Philadelphia.
Okay, pretend it's July. Somebody would ask you, opening game, Phoenix at Philly. Who's the featured rookie running back that's going to make this place go crazy? You'd say Garrison Hurst, and boy, would you be wrong. Vaughn Hebron is doing it.
Yeah, would you say the first running back taken in the draft or a player who wasn't drafted? Hebron's sensational in that series. Ruzick adds the extra point.
Remember, 5'8", 196 pounds, 186 pounds. Here's some hard driving, heavy 186 pounds for 6 points.
CBS Sports coverage of the National Football League is sponsored by Enterprise Rent-A-Car, the special delivery company. Old Spice High Endurance for long-lasting odor protection. Reebok to remind you that on Planet Reebok there are no limits, no boundaries. And by Visa, it's everywhere you want to be.
Vaughn Hebron, he took the football to the sideline. He's broken more tackles than Garrison Hurst has yards, and the Eagles lead 23-10.
Well, how important is a preseason? How important is good hard work and being around this speed and this contact and everything? Vaughn Hebron has worked as hard as anybody in this Eagles camp, and he's impressed these Eagle veterans. Garrison Hurst didn't have camp, reported this week. Hebron, 6 carries, 62 yards, and a touchdown for the rookie. Garrison Hurst, 7 carries, and 3 yards.
Hebron missed 4 games last year, his senior year at Virginia Tech, with an ankle sprain, and thus was undrafted. But as Vi Sikahema said, in my 8 years in the league, I don't recall any team getting so excited over a rookie like has been the case here. Chance for a run back. Bailey from the 2. 20. Britt Hager on the tackle. We've got another game coming your way on CBS. Next, the Giants and the Bears. And you think the Giants are a much better team than a year ago under Ray Handley?
I think they've got a legitimate shot to be at or above 500, which with their talent would be a good season. I mean, they realistically should be in the Philadelphia Eagles rearview mirror. They should never get near enough the Philadelphia Eagles to threaten them, because I think the Eagles are probably that good. But I think Dan Reeves will make a huge difference. Discipline and direction is very important in team sport.
Chandler through the hands of Larry Sinners. Eric Allen came up, thought he might have a chance at an interception and a run back. Let's check the numbers here for you. 6 for 62 for Hebron. And Hurst 7 for 3 yards.
You know, we keep harping on it. It almost isn't fair. It's almost like comparing a baseball player that played the minor leagues and one that never had a down of minor league ball and they put it right in the major leagues. It's a heck of an adjustment for Hurst, but people have very little pity for guys making $2.5 million a year.
2nd and 10, and the Cardinals now with 11 minutes remaining, trail by 13 and face 3rd and long.
Jim, that's 8 times so far today. The Cardinals are going to be looking at 3rd and 10 or more. And that's a classic situation where your quarterback starts collecting some serious bruises. And, you know, we talked about how important it was for the Eagles line to block for Randall Cunningham. Cunningham hasn't been sacked today. You can't say the same thing about the quarterbacks of the Phoenix Cardinals. They have been smacked around. Berline and Chandler have taken some shots.
3rd and 10. Bailey, but they won't have the first. What a satisfying moment that has to be for him. Talked about that knee injury in a game against Cleveland. Cleveland's Municipal Stadium. Earlier in that game, he had broken Bernie Kosar's streak of passes without an interception. So he's having a big day, and then the next thing you know, his knee just blew out on him.
You made a great point earlier, Jim, about how he's closing on the ball. Great example of a guy who's coming back from the knee, showing he can close on the ball. Whoa, high snap.
Amarillo, fair catch called by Sigahama at the 40.
I think Connie Kawhi is going to try to find one of those little, you know, the jump seats on the planes that the stewardesses sit in. One that's facing away from the first class section where the coaches are. Good hang time on that thing. Got it up nice and high. And, you know, Camarillo and most punters are tested on a pretty regular basis as to their athletic ability when those things happen. 12-year veteran, and Connie has made his career and made his living off of doing just that, snapping the ball to the punters and the kickers, and it's highly unusual for a snapper of that quality to have this off of a day.
Heath Sherman stacked up by John Booty and Britt Wallerstedt, rookie from Arizona State, selected in the 6th round. That's a loss of 1. Well, let's call it no gain. Philadelphia rushing almost 100 yards more than the Cardinals.
And if you're the Phoenix Cardinals and you're not running the ball, you don't have much of a shot at winning. They got to run the ball. They have no choice. They need that smash football.
Walker lined up as a receiver. 2nd and 10. They go to the other side. And Barnett for a short gain at the 45. Set up 3rd and about 4 with 9:20 remaining.
And you're in a situation now, Jim, defensively, you've got to try to make things happen. You know Randall Cunningham's not going to take much in the way of chances. He's going to want to run the ball. If he throws it, it's high percentage throws. But you got to take a risk. You got to blitz. You got to go for the interception instead of just knocking the ball down. You got to make something happen as a defense.
3rd and 4. James Joseph out of the backfield. Joseph has the first down. Actually, James Joseph lined up on a wing. He was their leading runner 2 years ago.
with over 400 yards his rookie year, and then last year kind of plagued by injuries. Never even had a rushing attempt last year, but look for him, they say, in '93 to take on more of the responsibilities of Keith Byers.
I think between him and Herschel Walker, I know the Eagles want to sell the idea that this guy's better than a Keith Byers and this does this better than a Keith Byers. At this point, he is not better than Keith Byers. Maybe a combination of he and Herschel can make up for that difference.
Oh, flea flicker time. Cunningham going long. Good coverage. Lorenzo Lynch stayed with Calvin Williams. Trying to put the game away with a flea flicker. Let's go to New York for an update. Back to you, Greg.
All right, Jim. In Pittsburgh, Steve Young of the 49ers has thrown his third touchdown pass of the day. This one 5 yards to tight end Brent Jones. 24-13. 49ers in the lead over the Steelers. Back to the vet in Philadelphia, Jim and Randy.
Well, it's the 10th straight year the 49ers have opened on the road. 3 touchdown passes for Young today, 3 for Montana.
Oh, don't worry. That'll get a lot of play back in the Bay Area newspapers. They'll compare yardage. They'll compare sweats. They'll compare everything of these two guys all year long.
2nd and 10. Batted down. I think Eric Swan got a hand on it. By the way, one of Montana's scores went to Marcus Allen. It'll be 3rd down for Philadelphia. The incompletion stops the clock. Just under 8 minutes to go.
And that was a nice play by Eric Swan. I mean, we've seen numerous times, a couple times with Tim Harris and with a few other guys. You don't have to be on top of the quarterback necessarily to be a good defensive lineman. You can knock that ball down from 3, 4, 5 yards away. And what Philadelphia needs is for Eric Swan to break loose, fulfill some of that potential, and maybe cause a turnover. Strip Randall coming.
He could certainly use one now. 3rd and 10 for the Eagles. They run it with Hebron. And although he gains about 6, that's shy of the first. Oldham and Braxton collide on the hit. So the Cardinals need 2 touchdowns. They have half of this final quarter remaining. John Hudson snaps to Fiegels. Sure catch by Bailey. He fumbles it. And the Eagles have it inside of the 20. Eric McMillan with the recovery.
Well, you remember, Jim, a little while ago we talked about at a certain point you find a way to make the plays, or you find a way not to. You overthrow a touchdown, you put a ball on the ground, the punt hits you off the chest. These kind of plays are the kind of plays a team that's going to lose and will lose will make.
Something about Eric McMillan. He's always had a nose for the football. Much maligned player, but big interceptions, now a fumble recovery. It's happened throughout his career. Heath Sherman for only 3.
Well, that last flea flicker on the last series is about the last time you're going to see any fancy stuff out of this offense. I think for the last 7 minutes of this game right now, Randall Cunningham and Rich Kotite and Zeke Bratkowski are going to practice their pounded out end of the game offense and try to keep the mistakes to a minimum. Kotite's an interesting story. He takes a lot of heat here in Philadelphia. He says, hey, all I did last year was win 12 games in a playoff game included.
Please. Sherman stacked up after a 1-yard game. Kotite coached Philadelphia to that first playoff win since the NFC title game back in January of 1981. He's won 22 games in 2 years, more than any coach Philadelphia history for 2 years.
I mean, they were the only team last year in the NFL that was undefeated at home in the regular season. They went 8-0, won every game. Was that enough? Well, no, not really. They've expected a Super Bowl team here for a long time. Not always sure if it was a realistic expectation. They've never always had the same things at the right time. When they have a great defense, the offense is pretty good. When they have a real good offense, their defense is all right.
3rd and 5. Cunningham. Oh, Jones was about to get him, then he got picked off, and it's thrown away. I thought I saw a sack coming up, and then a great block.
Nice job by Mike Shad. Mike Jones thought he had him. I mean, he'd already put that stat in the bank. He put that sack in the bag, and Shad put his helmet right in his face and put him on his back. And that's the kind of attitude Randall Cunningham credits a lot to Broderick Thompson. He says Broderick Thompson came from San Diego, and he'll do that to guys. He says, now suddenly I see Anton Davis doing it, Eric Floyd doing it. Shad's always been that kind of guy.
This is a 32-yard field goal try by Ruzick to make the difference 16 if he makes. No. Ruzick has struggled, had a very mediocre preseason. And earlier this week, they brought in Eddie Murray just to take a look at him.
Ruzick struggled, but there's nothing struggling about Joe Bugle. He knows his team's still in it, and he's saying, come on, guys, let's go.
This game is presented by authority of the National Football League, and this CBS telecast is intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast or other use of this telecast without the express written consent of CBS, the Philadelphia Eagles, and the National Football League is prohibited. Clyde Simmons lining up at right defensive end position. And Simmons makes the tackle. There is a flag on the field.
They're gonna catch a holding on that one. I think they're gonna get Louise Sharp for holding on Clyde Simmons at the very end of that play, right around the legs.
Holding, number 37, offense, 10 yards, still first down.
Oh gosh, I guess Larry Centers must have grown. I thought he was Louise Sharp. Right at the very end here, watch Centers. He struggles. He's doing okay, but now he's trying to make something happen, and he grabs that jersey to try to keep Simmons from getting away.
Simmons and Harris, you can almost sense the excitement they feel as they know they can now look for some sacks. Ricky Prohl out to the 17. Now they'll hurry up to the line of scrimmage with 5:10 remaining. 23-10 Philadelphia. 2nd down and 13. Chandler to Clark. He dropped it again. 4th time today.
No more excuses from me. He should have caught that one. I mean, at least that one, maybe the one before. I mean, you can drop one once in a while, but that's just concentration. That's not concentration as much as thinking about what you're going to do with it next before you got it.
5:01 remaining. 3rd down and 13. That would have easily been enough for a first. Chandler flings it long to Clark. No flag. Incomplete. Mark McMillan knocked it away, and Chandler was hurt at the end of this play.
He got piled into right at the end of the play into his legs. Remember, he came into this game having missed a good bit of the last 3 weeks because of an ankle injury. You can see the spat job there on his ankle. Very heavily taped up. Watch the very end. Is Andy Harmon right?
Oh boy.
There, yeah, that's
oh boy.
That's got some ankle potential. Now, if you're a Cardinal fan, you think, well, why wasn't this pass interference? Watch the heads of the defenders. They are playing the ball. They have every bit as much a right as that offensive guy does when that ball's in the air. That's incidental contact. They're looking back. They're going for the pass. If there's bumping, that's not going to be called pass interference.
Chris Chandler came into this game with a sprained left ankle. They said he even hobbled off the team plane yesterday. came in right away into this game and drove them to a touchdown.
And he's not going to miss this kind of a chance to get out here and play. I mean, things are going to hurt. Things are going to. I mean, this is the regular season. You're going to have dings, and that's one of the reasons you sign extra quarterbacks. You know, Joe Bugel said yesterday, as far as we're concerned, in our offense and our system, we have 2 starting quarterbacks between Chandler and Verline. Hopefully, he's not down to 1 with Chandler's ankle being injured, if it is injured seriously.
Simmons, you see the Pop Jordan mention on his helmet. Simmons grew up in Wilmington, North Carolina, childhood friend of Michael Jordan. In fact, they played Babe Ruth baseball together, did Clyde Simmons and Michael. And he pays tribute, remembers James Jordan here today.
And that's a good precaution. There's very few injuries you can have in football that hurt more than a bad ankle. Anybody that's played pickup basketball in the backyard with the kids or anything, you twist that ankle, that can hurt more than a broken almost anything. And a lot of the times it is not broken and it's not too serious, but it is extremely painful and hard to come back from. You can only hope that Chandler's injury is not too serious.
Well, Berline started to loosen up on the sideline, but Phoenix must kick the football away. 7th punt today. Let's watch out for the snap from Connie Kawhi. Another adventure. Well fielded by Camarillo. There is a flag down back at the line of scrimmage. They haven't seen this kind of fielding, the performance put on by Camarillo today here at the Vet, since Mike Schmidt manned third base for the Phillies. Win a gold glove with some of these.
He needs a glove. Maybe he needs a highlight scoop to catch some of these snaps. That flag came right on the line of scrimmage. That's got to be an illegal receiver downfield, or just getting down too early on that punt.
Call that a highlight scoop?
I guess. Well, you know that great
what
big.
Is the name of that?
It looks like a
gigantic,
the gigantic curved fingernail that they catch those highlight things.
Number 55 downfield. Penalty is refused. First down.
Well, you heard of Mr. Toad's wild ride. Here's Connie and Rich's wild ride. Connie Kawhi leaning back. Ball goes up. Camarillo touches it 4 times before his foot does. And finally gets to get this one off. One more time. Look at that.
Pretty good snare there.
That's a good stop. It really is. But one of those little scooper deals.
Yeah, I think they call them. I think it's a cesta.
A cesta?
Cesta.
Isn't that when you sleep in the afternoon?
I actually have a couple at home. Hebron head on hit with Eric Swan. Cardinals take a timeout. They have 2 remaining.
Here comes Swan, and there goes Hebron. When you're quick, you're elusive, and you have the misfortune of on one play not being very elusive. When you're going against a 300-pounder, it's not good to be 196 pounds. You tend to come out the chute the other way.
Well, this year the Cardinals put their defensive line on their cover of their media guide, the Young Guns. A step up from last year where they went into the season. Media guide cover had their place kicker and punter.
Yeah, I mean, this whole organization has been upgraded. It's definitely a step up from your kickers. But, you know, I think we all tend to joke a little bit in this time when a team's down and they've made so many obvious glaring mistakes at critical times when they should have come through. But, you know, I think this is going to be a team that's got the dreaded potential. Can they get over the hump? I really don't know. Can they stop making those stupid plays? I don't know.
2nd down and 10. Unbelievable time for Cunningham now. Tucks it under. stays in bounds to keep the clock running. And a scuffle.
Mike Shadd took a shot that time, and I think it was Rucker or Davis. It was before the whistle, but I would categorize it as being roughly unnecessary. You ever hear the term about getting ear-holed? And when you're a 355-pound lineman like Rucker, you don't appreciate being ear-hole or seeing that. Watch the left side of your screen, right? Watch Rucker, 79. Hi-ya! Right in the side of the head. That tends to make defensive linemen, which you refer to as a bit miffed.
All right, the first official winner of 1993. First final is in. Buffalo Bills.
Personal fouls on both teams. Offsetting fouls on 79 of the defense and 79 of the offense.
There's the one you referred to in the first half, that old dreaded offsetting penalties. Buffalo registers a win week 1. They led in that game 17-14 in the second half. Bill Parcells' team putting up a pretty good fight at that point, but then 3 touchdowns by the Bills, and they ice it by 24.
Well, Terry Bradshaw happened to, today on the NFL Today, make his 2 surprise teams of 93 were the New England Patriots and the Phoenix Cardinals. And both his surprises got off to a bit of a soft start so far, but that's why they've got 17 more weeks of the season.
Third down at 6. Phoenix territory at the 45, and they're at it again. Another disagreement, shall we say. Lorenzo Lynch shaken on the tackle. There's a flag down, by the way, as a couple of players got into it again after the whistle.
Frustration can get to be a real problem, especially when you're coming into a game with such high expectations and hopes, specifically that the Phoenix defense came into this game. They really came into this game expecting to stifle Randall Cunningham and this offense, and things have not quite gone as planned.
We have offsetting fouls again after the play is over. 2 players fighting, offset at the spot of the foul.
Throw him out. Throw a coach out. Do something.
Yeah,
don't make it offsetting.
It's just worthless.
It's just, why stop?
Why even throw a flag?
Yeah.
You know?
I don't know.
4 minutes, 12 seconds remaining in this game. Philadelphia leading 23-10. Next week, the Cardinals travel to RFK and play the Washington Redskins. And the Eagles travel to Green Bay. First down for the Eagles. There's Walker for 1 yard. Wallerstedt on the hit. Walker said last year when he came in here, we'd have one of the best running attacks in the NFL. My statement now, he announced when he came to camp, is that we're going to have the best running attack in the league this year.
Well, I think you'd be hard-pressed off the performance of Von Hebron today to say, name a running back crew that's probably better than the combination of, Heath Sherman, Herschel Walker, Von Hebron, James Joseph.
Randall Cunningham.
Yeah, that's a great example. Some would say Pittsburgh. They've got a pretty good 1-2 duo going there. But I think it's the full package and what these guys can do. This can be the best running team in the league.
Cardinals have used a timeout, and they're left with only one. 4:07 remaining.
And really, the surprising aspect of the success on the ground today of the Philadelphia Eagles is last year, this young guns or the big nickel or whatever, when they finally went to that towards the end of the year, they really limited the run. They held people to like 44 yards a game the last 4 games of the season. They were stuffing the run last time we saw them.
2nd down and 9. Hebron cuts inside to the 41. Made something out of very little room to work with on that one. And now the Cardinals have used their last timeout. That word may be hanging around for a long time in Phoenix. The word ultimatum. 9 wins. That was the edict from Bill Bidwell, not only for Bugle and the assistants, but also for Larry Wilson.
Well, I mean, he told the organization, you win 9 games, or you're all going to be out of here. And there's nothing wrong with that. You know, you talk to some of the coaches. You know, the devil you know is better than devil you don't. How many coaches have been fired in all professional sports when the owner had kind of a hidden agenda, didn't specifically know what they wanted? This guy, Bill Bidwell's made it very clear. I want 9 wins. And if I don't get it, there's going to be some problems.
I bid you adieu. 3rd and 6. Hebron. Lynch stripped him of the football. Lorenzo Lynch, he can take it all the way. Lorenzo Lynch is in for a touchdown. This game is not over.
3:48 to go. That makes it 23-16. As we've seen, the snaps are an adventure. The extra point will bring it to within 6, but watch it from the end zone. Here's a case of a rookie running back fighting, trying to make something happen, made a huge impact today, and just being stripped. He was not down. His knees were off the ground.
It could have been his 2nd touchdown of the day.
And Lynch just takes it away. Yeah, this should be kicking the extra point to go 1 up here with 3 minutes and 48 seconds to go. For all bad that's happened to Phoenix, Phoenix has just hung and hung and hung, and Philadelphia finally made a cardinal mistake.
Ooh. It was indeed, and they're within 6. Cardinals are out of timeouts. There are 3 minutes, 48 seconds remaining, and Lorenzo Lynch pickpockets Von Hebron and runs it back.
Rich Kotite made a great comment about Von Hebron. What kind of back is this young kid? He's fumbled in the preseason. He comes right back. He wants the ball. Don't be surprised if he's in the game and they give him the ball again. Here's it one more time. Fighting. Lynch has got the ball now. He's not down. The ball's out.
Mike Jones almost popped Lynch in the head and knocked him out, but Lynch stayed on his feet, and then a nice piece of running because Cunningham had the angle on him. Braxton came out to just get in the way and clear some space for his teammate. Victor Bailey unable to stop him at the 5, and Lorenzo Lynch has a touchdown.
Well, Philadelphia no doubt has his hands team. Look at the personnel that's on the field right now. What you'll notice is you will not notice too many numbers in the 50s, 60s, and 70s. These are the guys that are used to handling the football. I think they're anticipating an onside kick here.
Well,
and it's not a bad call. You have no timeouts.
That's it. That's the thing. You have no way of stopping except a 2-minute warning.
You have 3:48, so functionally the ball's going to stop one time in the next 3 3/4 minutes. So go for it. Take a shot. Try to make something good happen.
They kick it away instead. Seidner. Knocks helmets at the 24. Don't forget next, game 2 of our doubleheader, the Giants and the Bears. We'll be going there as soon as this one is finished. We still have 3:39 remaining. You know, the Eagles, let's look at, aside from their side of the story here. They had a field goal try from within, what was it, 32 yards, 32-yard attempt that would have put them up 16, so they could have put this game away.
Yeah, I think what we've been praising the Eagles for is exactly what they need to do right here. They need to keep running this ball effectively, and Cardinals are going to take some chances. They're going to try to make things happen. They're going to try to strip the ball. You can't let the negative creep in this late.
With 2 tight ends and Walker, they can bump him out of bounds. Out of bounds. That'll save him one. That stops. Well, it doesn't save him any timeouts because they don't have any, but it certainly is beneficial to the Cardinals now to knock him out of bounds and stop the clock with 3:32 remaining.
The Eagles' assignment right here is to get 2 first downs. If they get 2 first downs, you can forget it. You have to also assume that the running backs, the quarterbacks, and the receivers are being told not to do what Herschel Walker just did, and that's run out of bounds. Fall down and gain 2 less yards, but don't stop the clock.
2nd and 4. And a great hit. Wallerstedt got to him. And then later, Bankston helped out. A 1-yard loss. 3rd down coming up for the Eagles. Wallerstedt seeing action in the second half.
And a good fill by the rookie, but you know what they're trying to do here, not so much is fill. You notice that Herschel was not immediately knocked to the ground. They're trying to stick him, hold him up, and then people are coming in from the sides and going after the ball.
What a huge play this is for the Phoenix Cardinals. Under 3 minutes. 2:50 to go. They have no timeouts. They trail by 6. They need the football. 3rd down and 6. Cunningham. Oh, this is going to be close. And I think forward progress is enough for the first down. Chuck Cecil trying to put a good smack on him to knock him back, but it's a first down for the Eagles.
Chuck Cecil tried to put him in New Jersey when he went into the air, leaping for that first down, and that's what happens. If Randall wants to leap, those are the kind of consequences he's willing to accept. And watch Chuck Cecil come in right about now. Going in, going out.
But about a yard too late for the Cardinals defense, and the Eagles will just let the clock run down to the 2-minute warning. They may be able to just fall on it now and win this game.
A first down effectively takes the Cardinals out of the game, barring a real severe mistake by the Eagles.
We've seen one already, though. Jim Nantz with Randy Cross with you from Philadelphia. 2 minutes remaining. The Eagles 1st and 10, and the Cardinals cannot stop the clock anymore.
Yeah, they basically need not to catch a cramp somewhere between the snap from the center to Randall Cunningham's hands, and they're going to be okay. I mean, just give the ball to Randall and let him fall down.
David Alexander, the center, snaps it to RC. Randall Cunningham. And a couple of more of those, and the game's over. Well, Phoenix has this stat that is so frustrating and distressing at the same time for the organization. 6 of their last 7 losses last year were by 6 points or less. And they're about to drop game 1, barring a miracle, by 6 points.
And it's no consolation, and it can probably be a torturous thing, but I think Joe Bugle deep down knows his Cardinals should have won this game if they'd have taken advantage of 3 or 4 dropped interceptions, 3 or 4 drop passes, numerous opportunities, and gotten a break from the officials when it really was a fumble at the end of the second quarter. They should have had a touchdown.
Today's game was produced by Mark Wolf and directed by Mike Arnold. The NFL Today was produced by Eric Mann and directed by Bob Mattina. Senior producer of the NFL on CBS is Ed Gorin, and the executive in charge of production is Rick Gentile. This team is going places. That's what they're saying in Philadelphia. Well, some are saying. Rich Kotite about to win his 3rd straight opener.
This is an Eagle team that I think wins at least as many games as they did in 1992.
That's 11 wins in regular season.
I think they win a lot of games this year. People are going to try to bury this defense. This is going to be a good defense. The offense's job is not to win the games. The offense's job is not to mess them up.
Giants and Bears are coming up next for you. Philadelphia Eagles have won it 23-17. So for Randy Cross, I'm Jim Nantz saying so long from Veterans Stadium, where the final score is the Eagles 23, the Cardinals 17.